Oh, hello everyone. How are we all doing? Did you miss this? I hope you're all ready to have a good time. I think it's time that we get ourselves prepared. Got a few more things to do in the back end, and do not fear, we will be rolling very, very. Browser not supported. You're silly, buddy. Alrighty. Well, goodbye to you. Good thing I got something else for the. Oh, okay. Well, all right, back-end stuff's going to have to wait because we've got something to go. It's the Vision Corsa IndyCar Racing Series presented by the Prodigy Racing Association. Thomas Cuthbert here, also known as Orion, I with you today, and we're going to do everything we always do every time we run these, but this time, with the twist that I've been gone for a couple weeks, it's, oh my goodness. The twist that I've been gone for a couple weeks, and so we're going to have to go over a few things. Ron, how does this league work? Well, it's a 50-50 split of road course and oval races using the Dallara IR18. 13 races total, including the All-Star race that did take place earlier in the season. We got a few things to work on in the back, so come on in. X86, gross. $375 prize pool up for grabs. You get $130 if you get first place in the season, $75 for second, 43rd, 24th, $10 for fifth. And a prize for the most points in the oval races. The standings will be updated come Michigan week. That'll be in a few weeks from now. Uh-oh. Seen a driver who went off track for a hot second, but regardless, we're going to keep our focus right now on this current moment. What are we looking at? Well, a $50 race prize that was won. I don't remember who won that, unfortunately. I'll have to get that information later. But that has been claimed, so the $50 Daytona race prize is no longer available. Continuing on, we are on Tuesday nights using the Eastern time zone, including the fact we just flipped over from daylight savings time. We got our hour back. We're on realistic weather, so anything can happen as far as the forecast is concerned. You use the weather for the given area for the forecasted time. All tires will be available for the drivers to use. You'll have one fast repair, so getting wiped out in a race isn't an immediate game over, although you are going to be battling in a very uphill manner. Oval races are going to have a green-white checkered. That is not the case for today. The lucky dog and wave around rules are active. And the start and restarts will all be on the iRacing green. For the point system, the top 5 qualifiers will earn points, 5 through 1. And then for the race, it's 45 for first, 40 for second, and you drop a point per position from there. Bonus point given out for leading a lap. Bonus point given out for leading the most laps, and a bonus point given out for the fastest lap in the race. What is happening here? 5 extensions were turned off. That is not ideal. Let's get at least some of these back on. Oh, there we go. That's fine. All right, come on, buddy. You need to stop. Right, I forget. This thing's a bit of a nightmare, but we'll get through it. Do not fear. Working on the back end so I can get this beautiful chat up and running. It doesn't seem to want to function on my computer, so have to try other means to get it. Why is this browser not supported? I'm curious about that. Perhaps it needs an update. Perhaps things are just a little out of whack. But yeah, I want to get this chat in here, and it's not letting me. And I'm very annoyed by that. As Griffiths is off the track. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on Griffiths right now. The session is live. They are practicing as we speak. And I am very confused as to what's happening with this laptop. It's not fun. I'll double check everything. This probably needs an update or 17. It hasn't been used in a while. But continuing on with our point system, there will be 4 events that feature double points. So everything that you saw earlier in the race, double it up. Attention needed. Yep. Oh, there we go. Looks like it's that this thing is going to have to flip to Windows 11, which means this laptop is not getting used today. Well, at least we're doing this now while I have the time. And for these racers, they won't need to worry about double points for now, but in about a month, they'll be having to worry because on the 1st Tuesday of December when we head to Michigan. It's a double points race, so they better be ready. Let's get rolling now with the caution system. The caution system for the ovals will use the iRacing caution system. We're on a road course for today, which means it's the PRA caution system. The way the Prodigy Racing Association determines cautions is through if there is a multi-car crash. If there are single-car crashes, even multiple throughout the entirety of the circuit, there will not be a caution flag coming out. And the caution laps are going to count, and that was changed to be the case for every single race, including the All-Star race. Ending another's race under a caution is going to get you parked and given points for last place. You'll effectively be removed from the pool of drivers, and then you'll go under last point provisionals system at that point. So let's say that there are 23 racers in the race at a given point. There's a caution flag that comes out, and someone ends up knocking a driver out of the race. It would then be considered as if it was 22, and the driver that committed that infraction would join everyone else who signed up for LPP and be given 23rd place points. Do I know what that number is exactly? No, not the problem. Let's continue on with a list of our races. We had the Daytona All-Star race, which was unfortunately the last race that we were here for. Had a bit of an illness the last couple of weeks, but we are back and rolling, and we're thankfully able to come back on Thursday for the Street Stock Series. It's an interesting concept, putting street stocks on a road course, but this one, IndyCar, this is just classic. This is good stuff. So we missed Portland, we missed Milwaukee, but we are here for Watkins Glen, and we're ready to roll, pretty much. It'll be exciting to see how these drivers fare, and speaking of our drivers, let's meet them. In the number 1 car is Min Hang, the number 2 car driven by Daniel Borgert-Pepping. Richard Murray drives the 4. Vitor Guilherme drives the 5. The 6 is driven by Landon Lacey. The 007 is driven by Ali Chastain. The 07 by Roger Saucier. That is spelled wrong. Let us fix that right about now. Please excuse me. Sorry about that, Roger. Didn't realize I had that one wrong the whole time. So bang and bang. There we go. Roger Saucier drives the 07. Ali Chastain, the 007. Cody Linscott in the 8. Joe Nerton drives the 10. Marlo Duncan, she's in the 12 car. Andrew Clark, the 13. Jimmy Sallow, the 14. Aaron Fontaine pilots the 18 with Mitchell Hamilton in the 21. Matthew Morgan in the 22. George Griffiths drives the 025, while Adam Miller pilots the 25. 26 driven by Kyle Deckard. Aiden Hill in the 27. Rodney Roberts in the 29 rounds out the 20s as we go to Jeffrey Goodpaster, who drives the 33. Javier Lopez, the 36. Alex Jones, the Season 2 champion of the IndyCar Series, left the number 1 behind and picked up the 45. Guillermo Perez drives the 52, while Nick Polliard has the 55. Parker Dime, the 57. Morgan Smith, the 58. Fozzie Fazillo begins the 60s with 61. Byron Bailey drives the 64. Matthias Marcumini in the 77. Jacob Schneider, the 81. Daniel Blanco in the 82. The 86 is driven by Brian Young. 120 by Spencer Torrance. Austin Dilton, the 144. Brandon Farley, the 327. And to wrap it up is Brad Marath in the 384. As a reminder that this list is about 3 weeks old, and we do have a couple new drivers in the mix. Joining about a week or so ago was Micah Mixer in the 28. And joining us today for the first time, Thomas Coonan in the 68. We do have a driver confirmed to be out for today. Unfortunately, Nick Polliard ended up in an emergency and will not be available for today. So we'll keep an eye on how many drivers are in, and we'll get you about how many points he's expected to get. Now, we have a few things that are going on here. Yeah, this thing is... Woo, yeah, this computer needed some help. Oh, mama. So we're getting that up and running. Is this Windows 11 compliant? Because I'm going to have to flip anyway. Unfortunately, we have to check out the laptop to see if that is ready to roll. Because if I need to upgrade this, we're going to have to do it now. It looks like we will. Ugh. As much as I don't want to, it's just kind of what we're stuck with. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Is it eligible? It might be. All right. Well, we got our standings to go through. Marlo Duncan has taken the lead since last we left. What we heard was that George Griffiths unfortunately missed a race, as Griffiths is a big Toronto Blue Jays guy. Was watching them in the World Series. Commiserations for the defeat in Game 7. That image of the bases being loaded in the bottom of the ninth is going to haunt people forever, unfortunately. And George, trying to catch back up to first place, is in the session for today. That has been confirmed. Let me check if Marlo is in here as well. We got a lot of drivers that have hopped in. We're up to 17 at the moment, and yep, Marlo is in. And Griffiths at the moment has the fastest lap in practice. Adam Miller holds the third place slot with Aiden Hill in fourth. Spencer Torrance in fifth, Jacob Schneider sixth, Rodney Roberts in seventh. We've got the likes of Brad Morath in eighth, Brandon Farley in ninth, and Nick Polliard in 10th. Unfortunately, that is likely to drop down, as Matthias Marcumini, I believe, is in the session. Let me double check that real quick. Not yet. Oh, no, yep. Matthias is in, has not hit the track yet, but is in the session. Jimmy Sallow is in 12th, Joe Nerton in 13th, Roger Saucier in 14th. So I had the name right, at least at one part of the document. In 15th is Min Hang, Landon Lacey in 16th. Aaron Fontaine in 17th, Guillermo Perret in 18th, Byron Bailey in 19th, and Alex Jones in P20. Continuing on, it's Daniel Blanco in 21st, Brian Young in 22nd. Ali Chastain, I believe, did not join us for long and is in 23rd at the moment. Parker Diamond, 24th, tied with Matthew Morgan. Andrew Clark's got 26th, Javier Lopez in 27th, Vitor Guillerme in 28th, Austin Diltz, 29th, Morgan Smith in 30th. And around us out is Fazio Fazillo and Mitchell Hamilton. That is about it for our look at the standings, so let us hit the track. Let's find someone who's rolling, and let's get ready. How about Micah Mixer, one of our newer drivers for today? Let's see how he fared on the track. At the moment, holds the third spot in the practice session. Joe Nerton in second. And we do actually have a way to see it. At least I will be able to see it. Here we go. Griffiths right now, a 1:27.471, has the fastest lap in the practice session. Joe Nerton, a 1:27.650. So Mixer's got a little bit of traffic to deal with, and sometimes you will have to deal with that. We'll see how the drivers react to it. 17 drivers in total in the session at the current moment. A little bit of squirreliness as there's traffic to deal with in front. And Mixer close to getting by, but not quite yet. Has Alex Jones on the inside of turn one. And Jones a little bit squirrely near the exit of pit lane. Seems real okay. And in front, this is Thomas Coonan, who currently sits at 8th in our practice session. A 1:28.737 at the moment. Did double check. Trading Paints did the Trading Paints thing. If any of these are incorrect, that's not my fault. I did the part that I needed to do. Not should have done. No, I did do what I should have done. That is technically correct. Done what I can. And these drivers are pushing it through this track. Kind of need to. It's the kind of competition we have, and it's good that we've got plenty of competition to work with. But these guys are feisty, and they are fast, to say the least. Let's deal with that for now. Let's have a look at some of the other drivers on the track. Adam Miller, you out there? Let's have a look. Oh, someone's in the wall. Yeah, let's go to Adam. Let's go to Aiden Hill. How about that? 9th driver at the moment in the leaderboard. Making his way through the chute. Down the chute and headed towards the toe of Aiden Hill. Yes, we in fact did spend time on the corner. Name's Aaron. What's going on over here? Alright, just keeping up with everything, get everything nice and red. Unfortunately, see, I could probably be able to do we should be able to do our post-race interviews. Some good fun. Let me Gonna get everything else nice and set up. For now, we're just gonna keep focused on the track. We've got 3 more minutes until the end of our practice session. We are not gonna worry just yet about our interviews for the moment. Let's get this thing. Do we have any options? Looks like yes. Bingo. Get those up. This computer, this laptop has not seen many updates in a long time. Maybe we're up to 6 now on the board. And these drivers really hopped the curve with the new look Watkins Glen boot. Install updates. That's new. I've never heard that before. Well, this thing's not going to get used today. I'll have to work on this in the background after the race. With the race taking about an hour or so, oh, goodbye, Aiden. Oh, hello, Aiden. Goodbye, Aiden. Hello, Aiden. All good, buddy? I'm just going to presume it's all good and just pretend there's nothing wrong. How about some other drivers on the board? What do we got? Here's Adam Miller. You ask Adam Miller how his season's been, he'll probably tell you he's been snake bitten for most of it. And for some part, he's definitely right. Oh, he's okay. He stopped. Thanks, bud. You're all set. There we go, Brandon Farley. Guillermo Perez is here. Good. That's good. I like to see that. I actually haven't used this program. I haven't used this program when we've had like 20 or so drivers on the board. I wonder how that's going to look when we get to that point. Anyways, computer's getting a good old restart. I got to find a way to get the chat up somehow, so let's bust the tablet out. All right, come on up, buddy. Yeah. I get it. Not the beefiest thing in the world, but you know what? You beautiful people deserve to be heard and listened to at the current moment. Farley is facing the wrong way. And a whole lot of drivers in pit lane because it's the end of our practice session. So we will now focus in on our brand. Okay, let's see. Our brand, that's a new one. Make sure that doesn't have any audio coming through. I don't need to hear myself right now. Believe it or not, I am actually not that conceited. Shocker, I know. Let me get the chat up. There we go. A little quiet. That might not be a you thing. No, it definitely was not a you thing. I had my gain a little bit low. But thank you very much. That's YJ Media. Hello, hello. Good to see you, buddy. It's been a little bit of a while. Sorry it was a while ago, but nothing too wrong with that. Had a lot of stuff in the back end to work on. So very much appreciate you hopping in. I'd very much appreciate if you headed over to the PRA Network channel. So let me direct you over there. That's the place I think you should go. Those people do some great stuff. They've allowed me to do something that I love to do so much. And racing for me is a bit of a curveball. I'm not used to it very much. Let's see. Who do we have out on the track? We've got a few drivers. Unfortunately, the one we have on the focus on is not out. But Rodney Roberts is. So we will get to watch Rodney. 6 people in here today. Hello, everyone. Good luck from Aaron. 16 minutes ago. Actually, 18 minutes ago. I can read. I promise. Rodney heading to the final turn of his out lap. So let's watch a lap. One time around here from Rodney Roberts. Here at Watkins Glen on the boot. First turn, he takes it a little bit wide. Normally do want to eat at least a little bit of that curb, but still nothing too wrong if you want to be conservative around it. Going through the S's here, and you make your way up to the bus stop on a long straightaway. The DRS zone board there on the left side. You go all the way down towards the final board before hooking your way in. Rodney Roberts doesn't really want to eat too much of the curb, especially because you got to do a hop if you want to get the kind of pace that George Griffiths is looking for. And as we saw with Griffiths in the practice session, well, I personally saw, it's very dangerous to do it that way. It looks like there was a problem. I wonder what that problem could be. Get that silenced. Quiet. As we go to Rodney Roberts, he's made his way past the toe, now going through the boot. And now around the heel. Yes, believe it or not, the corner names for a track configuration they called the boot, in fact, makes plenty of references to, well, a boot. Shocking, I know. 2 turns left here for Roberts on his first lap on the board. Swing this one away wide, head into that yellow line where the pit entrance is. Thomas Kunin's got the first time on the board with a 128.7. And Roberts will slot in at the moment. No, he won't. Looks like he had an off track. It's Micah Mixer in the lead at the moment. Let's have a look at Micah Mixer as Aiden Hill is close behind as well. Although, nope, he's not behind. Aiden Hill has shot up ahead of Mixer, and George Griffiths leading the way. Who saw that one coming? Spencer Torrance up to 4th for now, although someone we should be keeping an eye on is our current series leader in Marlo Duncan, leading the way by 6 points. Now, is this thing going to tell me that my browser is not supported? No, it's just going to work this time. Perfect. Exactly what we were looking for. I want to get this gorgeous chat up so we never have to worry about getting anyone. Come on, buddy. Come on, come on. Get that out of here. Keep on scrolling down as we keep a focus on Marlo Duncan as Griffiths has drawn out a caution. And I believe has parked it in the pits, and that he has. He's happy with that time, a 127.372. His qualifying time. Come on, there you are. Beautiful. Duncan around the final turn. Looking to improve that lap time. That is Joe Nerton who's got. Oh, there you go. Duncan. 128.368 is the time at the moment. Now let me pop this chat out. Pop it out. There we go. We're going to go here, and let me get my chat up as well so I can say hello to all of you. For now, it's George Griffiths in the lead with that 127.372. Marlo Duncan trying to play catch-up at the moment. As Roberts did make it on the board, now P12 currently. Don't need to add a panel. Thank you very much, though. Welcome in, everyone. What do we got? Plus program. Okay, cool. Third-party events. Cool, cool. All right. Well, I'm glad this works. It'll do. Although I'm just getting a blast of heat headed towards me because I've got the laptop in an odd angle. Let me get this back down. There we go. Tilt the screen up so I can keep an eye on all of you. Settle down, boys. And don't show this again. I don't need that. Don't show. Oh my goodness. There's so many little pings. There we go. So Marlo Duncan across the finish line finishes up qualifying, unable to improve the time, and remains in 3rd behind Hill and Griffiths. It's like Rodney Roberts had a bit of damage, and I wonder, do we have anyone still on the track? We got Torrance out here. Torrance currently in 6th on his final lap. A little bit of a slide there out of that corner. 2 more. Tries to keep that foot down. Doesn't want to touch the brakes heading into the second to last turn. So you can do a shallow break and barely hit the top of third around the final corner. Crossing the line. Can he improve his time? He cannot. We'll park it, ending with a 128.470. And so it appears we've got our qualifying set. Although, do we have anyone else still on the track? That is Guillermo Perez. So yes, we do. And still plenty of time in qualifying. 2.5 minutes, so this lap is going to count. Unless Perez ends up off the track at some point. Alongside several other things that you could do. Yeah, this computer needs some help, let me tell you. Alrighty. Around the heel goes Perez. You happy, Aaron? You liking it so far? You better. It'd be feisty if you don't. Joe Nurton's up to 8th place at the moment. Good, good. I think Perez is going to be our last one on the board. Across the finish line. Perez looking to get into the top 5. It makes it up to 3rd place. A 128.061 for Guillermo Perez. Nice work, man. Fires up to 3rd, and Griffiths is going to be happy about that, as that is 1 less point to Marlo Duncan. And so the gap from Griffiths to Duncan at this current moment. Now with Griffiths getting 5 and Duncan 2, the gap is now down to 3. As a reminder for the standings, it is Marlo Duncan with 412 points, George Griffiths at second with 406. Now that changes. Griffiths at 411 and Duncan at 414. So let's get back to the track. Do we have anyone else still out there? Coonan, no. No Miller, no Marku. No. Austin LeBlanc is in the session, but it will not be gridding. Oh, okay, well, Perez's still out there. He's having a grand old time. Hey, George. How you doing? Qualifying session's about to end in about 20 or so seconds, and then we'll get a look at the grid headed for today's race. And I really like that this new system has been working, and I'm glad I finally get to show all of you. We've been working on this for weeks with the Street Stock Series, and finally able to showcase what it looks like here for the IndyCar Series. I hope you all will enjoy. Just got to wait for it to pop up. Do not betray me, I swear. I'm going to lose my mind. I have to wait for the first car to grid in order to show you what that grid will look like. George Griffiths leads the way on row 1 and will be next to Aiden Hill, qualifying in P2 with a 128.028. Guillermo Perez steals 3rd from Duncan with a 128.061, and Duncan will be in P4 at the end of row 2. It'll be Deckard and Micah Mixer who will be in row 3. Deckard with that 128.388. Mixer 128.396. Spencer Torrance on row 4 with Joe Nurton to his right. 128.47. 128.61. Thomas Coonan will start his career with the IndyCar Series on row 5 next to Adam Miller. Finishing up the 128s, Mark Humini will be next to Brad Morath on row 6 with Mark Humini in P11, Morath in P12. It's Rodney Roberts in P13 next to Jimmy Sallow to round out row 7. Pretty good. Thanks, George. Thank you. Alex Jones with Farley to his right on row 8 in P15 and P16. P17 is Aaron Fontaine, and Austin LeBlanc takes the 18th spot, but he'll be up in the booth doing the administrative things because he has not registered a single point on the track. What is that dot? Why is there a dot? I do not know why there's a dot. That doesn't look like it should be there. What is that? Oh, my goodness. I don't know what that is. I ain't going to worry about it. What I do know is we're about to hit the track. And that will do it for iRacing TV. So thank you very much, buddy. Much appreciated. I might bring that back. I might bring it back just so I can keep an eye on the position, so I can see like battles and whatnot. It's a little bit difficult with the current setup that I have, so yeah, we're going to bring that back up. That's not going to change what it looks like for all of you, though. You are going to get to see the beautiful overlay that we have running. Meanwhile, iRacing TV will be what I use on screen so that I can keep track of everything. And I like... Thank you, Windows. Very, very cool. Very good spaghetti. I like keeping everyone up to date on what's rolling with this. Race status we keep. Don't need the result. Don't need the pit lane. Keep the start lights. And so long as you stay quiet, we are good. Bring that over there, because let's focus in at our race coming up. Griffiths in the lead. We're going to go around the final corner here. Griffiths will be on the inside line with Aiden Hill on the outside. Rigged. Okay, Aaron. Focus on the track, bud. Oh, you're just not racing, bud? Well, I guess he's going to help out LeBlanc for today. And we are green flag racing at Watkins Glen. Griffiths gets a solid jump as that looks to be Marlo Duncan moving in on the inside. Trying to make a move. A bit of a collision right off the bat. Aiden Hill hits the side of Griffiths and slows down considerably. Hill dropped down to 5th as Griffiths and Duncan already battling it out for the lead. Guillermo Perret not too far behind with Micah Mixer battling Perret. That's Marlo Duncan getting into the side of Griffiths. They go side by side, and they're going to stay side by side as we make our way to the bus stop for the first time today. First time, and they're going to go one by one. Duncan will take the lead for now as they make their way to the outer loop. Griffiths nearly getting into the back of Duncan. As for now, this battle stays fierce. The leaders of the series going head-to-head with those extra 5 points to focus on for the win of the race. It's not a double points race, but those 5 points can add up quickly. As Griffiths trying to make a move, ends up colliding into the back of Duncan, and they both go off the track. The move ends up in disaster for both drivers, but Duncan gets the worst of it. No caution flag comes out. We are still green flag racing as Griffiths will be down to 14th. Duncan now has to trail behind from 16th and may have severe damage on that back end. Right off the bat, and we're going to get a look at that right up close and personal with George Griffiths so we can watch that one more time. Making our way through the beginning of, they're going down the chute headed towards the toe. Griffiths wants to make a move to the inside, then doubles back and ends up colliding into the back of Duncan. Just in case you want to watch it again. Griffiths makes that move to the inside, wants to double back. Perhaps a bit of netcode, and there is a yellow flag that has been thrown out. And so the drivers will come together and form the line, and we'll get to see exactly how this plays out. Griffiths down to 15th right now. Duncan right behind. Rather, it's Rodney Roberts. Where did Duncan go? Okay, it's Duncan 15th, Farley currently registering as 14th. And okay, so iOverlay and iRacing TV are fighting right now. iOverlay is showing me Griffiths at 13th and Roberts at 16th. Here it's got Roberts at 13th and Griffiths at 15th. So, okay, yeah, Aaron is in the admin role. So, good to see you, bud. We do get a caution coming out on the board. So, I believe I was not here for the last road course race. Was there a caution in that one, Aaron? Do you remember? 2 weeks ago? Because I don't remember 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here. I was sick as a dog, unfortunately. Yeah, new login. Yep, that's expected. Micah's not... Oh, Micah's catching up to the pace car. No, it is fine. What Micah Mixer is doing is fine. Has he spotted the pace car? I haven't seen the pace car at all. But has begun the slow... Ah, there it is. Now exiting pit lane. So Mixer trying to slow down to let it by. As Marlo Duncan has headed to the pits to take the fast repair. And we are going to be single file for our restarts. So I believe it ended up being a later caution flag than expected for the collision between Duncan and Griffiths, and we'll see if there's any penalties that get handed out for it. So Aaron, if you're also going to use this stream as a source, I'll try to make sure I get all those replays for you so you can get nice up close and personal. What am I doing with my hand? Up close and personal with those incidents so you can see exactly how things roll and you can determine if you want to do anything about it. Marlo Duncan's got a black flag. That I'm going to need explaining. What? How did Duncan get a black flag? Speeding in the pits or exiting pit with the pit lanes closed? Because I would kind of put money on them being closed. Pit too soon. Got it. Okay. Entered the pits while the doors were closed and needed to wait another lap before she could enter. And so this race has gone into a complete disaster for Marlo Duncan. We'll have to go back to the pits to serve the penalty. Is it a stop and go or is it a drive? Do you know? Because I don't get that. One lap to green, switch ready, start. Caution, leaving, start. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not getting the, yeah, I'm not getting black flags on my overlays, unfortunately. Sad. Would've been nice. We are gonna stay under caution for another lap. Making our way past the heel. So Mixer, Perret, Hill, Deckard, Torrance is your top 5. Roberts, okay. They have now linked up. They now agree it is Roberts in 15th, Farley in 14th, Brandon Farley in 14th, and George Griffiths in 13th place. Marlo Duncan will be staying in 16th at the moment. 16 drivers on the board for today's race. We'll wait to see if those caution lights go out. I need a water, so I'm actually going to take a chance to get a water. I'm a genius. You should know this by now. We'll be back. Especially with the extra lap under caution, we're going to have plenty of time on our hands. So, I'm going to go get a water. I believe what we can do is, I think we're going to run a quick ad break. That way, there's no more pre-rolls when we roll on for the rest of the race. Where are we at on that front? Yeah, it'd be good if we did it now, because that way, there's no pre-rolls. So, see you in a minute. Oh, good. That's already breaking apart. These ear pads are like maybe a couple months old, and they're breaking apart. Okay, the caution has been shortened. Cool. Ads are off for 44 minutes. That should carry us to the end. Hopefully. Welcome back, everyone. We are still under caution, but it has been shortened. We are still on that same lap, now heading down the chute, as we like to say. Big close. Actually, let me switch these around real quick. Let's get up close and personal with Micah Mixer, our leader for today's race, as Duncan is now up to 14. How did that happen? think it's freaking out again. Black flag still needs to be served by Duncan, but has to serve it under green, so we'll need to wait until we are back to green flag racing. And so it's going to be a brutal start for her. Gets a yellow flag, black flag. A black flag under caution. And has to wait till we go green flag racing to serve it. And I believe that's going to have to be an elapsed time because I believe she is on the track at the moment. I don't think the pits open up by the time that she will be passing that start line. So yeah, one of these overlays is losing their minds. Griffiths and Rodney Roberts also went to the pits. Pace car off the track. We are going to be single file all the way to the line. There's the green flag. Let's get back and rolling with a new leader in Micah Mixer. Guillermo Perret in second, Aiden Hill in third as we keep a focus now on Mixer. Going through turn one, nice and smooth, and needs to stay that way through the course of the races. There's going to be plenty of pressure behind. As Duncan, Farley's had some trouble. What's happened here? They're spinning out. The restart has been a disaster. It's Duncan who gets the worst of it. Looks like she got tangled up with Brandon Farley. The two drivers finally up and rolling. What happened? We've still got plenty of action, though, to focus on as someone is ripping it on the outside. That looks to be Kyle Deckard moving quick around that outside. Trying to get past Hill and does so for now. Holds down third place as they're through the chute. Headed to the toe. They'll make their way onto the boots. Torrance on that inside, still looking for a lane past Hill. Will duck in behind for now for the draft. Sneaks inside. Is there. Around the heel they'll go. And Torrance is by for now. Still side by side though, has to give the room to Aiden Hill and does so. The two in a respectful battle here for fourth place at the moment. Thomas Coonan right behind him now. And around this final corner we go. A couple incidents have registered on the board as Marath will get by Alex Jones here in the back. Alex Jones on the outside for now. Alex Jones on the inside rather as Marath will take the spot. Couple more shuffles as George Griffiths here in 10th place at the moment, trying to catch back up. So what happened with Duncan? Oh, we've had a crash. We've had Thomas Coonan's gone off. So first and foremost, we need to figure out what in the world happened with Farley and Duncan. Let's back this up to the restart. Right now the focus is on Farley. Duncan behind. Duncan looking towards the inside. Farley ends up getting loose. And then you see them collide in the background. So we're going to go on board here with Duncan on this one. So you get to see the best look at what happened here off the restart. Looks to the inside, and Farley, you see them getting loose. Duncan tries to give the room and wanted to sneak by on the inside, but Farlow ended up spinning out towards that inside wall, and it catches Duncan, and that front end is destroyed. And now we'll get a quick look at what happened with Thomas Coonan off the restart, who now sits in 14th. A little bit deep out of turn one, but held it fine. But then once he bounced off the curb, crashes hard into the wall, and that car is not in a good place, to say the least. Had to wait for all the traffic to go by. Will make his way to the pits after another hit through the wall. So Micah Mixer in the lead now past the S's as we're on lap 7. And so much drama has taken place, and unfortunately for Duncan, it's been a catastrophe. So a little bit further back in the field, Mark will look to get by Adam Miller and has the place for now. Past the bus stop. Around they go through the outer loop and making their way down the chute. Mark Cooney staying in 7th now as Coonan and Duncan are both in the pits. And I'm going to reckon that's going to be a Duncan DNF coming in pretty soon. That car has been brutally damaged twice now. And George Griffiths remains in 10th, trying to get by Jimmy Sallow. Sallow there on that inside, you can see a little bit of a ride off the curb, and Griffiths nearly lost it, got it back though. And they'll go one by one with Griffiths in the back of this Miller-Sallow-Griffiths train. This is not Madison Square Garden, but it is MSG. Lap 8 now underway. Duncan out of the pits. A wide turn from Sallow, struggling out of turn 1, and Griffiths will get by for P9. But if Griffiths wants that win, he's got plenty of work to do. Wants to get by Adam Miller for now. The aggressiveness of George Griffiths. We'll see if it ends up costing him here. He is usually really harsh through that bus stop, but is giving the room to Miller. Now trying to challenge, nearly gets into the rear right of Adam Miller, but thankfully avoids it as they'll go through the chute together. Miller a little bit on the curb on the inside, ends up losing the place and will duck in behind. All of them eat up a little bit of that grass on the left of their cars. Sallow looks to the inside, nearly gets alongside, and I think he actually did, but didn't have the speed around the corner and will have to fall back behind Miller and Griffiths, although Griffiths a little bit slow, taking up the inside line. Second to last turn, Miller and Sallow continuing to battle it out behind. Griffiths in 8th place at the moment. A lot of drivers are eating up that dirt. Let's go a little bit up the field. Aiden Hill in the middle of Kyle Deckard and Spencer Torrance at the moment. Torrance, the teammate of Marlo Duncan. Also battling hard in the standings. Make our way to the bus stop. They'll stay in a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. Don't want to get anything too out of whack through the bus stop. It is not easy to go 2 by 2. To say the least. Torrance on the outside as they go down to chute. We got a bit of a pack going on here. Laps traffic getting in the mix, including Brandon Farley, who now heads a lap down. They all get by, though. This is Perret, Deckard, Torrance, and Hill, who get by Brandon Farley. Thomas Coonan is next on the list at the moment for cars that could be lapped. You see him there in the distance. No, that's Micah Mixer, actually. Micah Mixer, who currently sits 3 seconds ahead of Guillermo Perret. So let's have a look at the driver currently in the back of the field. Marlo Duncan, the damage report so far. A lap 1 collision, getting hit in the back by George Griffiths, heading around the toe. Then ends up getting a black flag for pitting with the exits closed, so pitting too soon after a caution had begun. Then ends up in another crash off the restart that sends her to the pits again after having to serve the black flag, and now sits in 16th with 16 laps to go at Watkins Glen. I think it's safe to say she's had a disastrous race, and now the championship becomes an uphill battle for her. Mine? What is that? Get that out of here. Let's get back up towards the front as Mark Humini gets by. We've had a problem here. What's happened? Perret? Where's Guillermo Perret? I think Perret is in the wall. Oh. That rear wing is destroyed. What in the world happened? Let's get up close and personal. Perret was in the front of this line, by the way, as they head down the chute. Oh, does get hit in the back. Okay, so let's back this up. Let's go and drive her back. This is Kyle Deckard we're focused on now. This looks like goes in too deep, not expecting Perret to go in as slowly as he did. Clips the back and off he goes. Joe Nerton has ended up on the board, and Perret is going to crash again because when you lack the rear wing, it's hard to keep that car under control. Let's get back to live now and focusing on Spencer Torrence, who now looks to close the gap on Deckard as they go through the bus stop. Focus on the back. Around they go. Plenty of incidents for today, and unfortunately, admins, you're going to have your hands full, to say the least. Aaron, good luck. So Guillermo Perret will head to the pits for the most obvious of reasons I think I've ever seen in my life. That car is uncontrollable without, honestly, any of the aero, if you ask me. Torrence looks to the inside of Deckard. Doesn't really have the room. Not yet. Not yet. The two battling for second right now is Micah Mixer. Has clear air in front. Oh, George Griffiths has done some good work. Already up to sixth. Takes that turn nice and slowly. Oh, that was a lot of grass he ate up there. I wonder if that counted as an off track. Didn't flash on my board. Around they go. Here it's lap 12 now. As the gaps have really showed themselves. Second, third, and fourth all bunched up. Then seventh, eighth, and ninth. Adam Miller and Alex Jones are quite close to each other. Adam Miller is having quite a few connections. Constantly popping in and out. Stable now. Hopefully we'll stay that way as we go down the S, past the S up to the bus stop. Here's a little tip: if you ever see a small chicane in the throughout any given course, more likely than not, drivers are going to call it the bus stop. Just saying. The official name of the corner is the inner loop. But you ask just about anyone, it's a bus stop. Oh no, someone's spinning. That's Spencer Torrence, who had some trouble holding on to it, but barely kept it on the road and out of the wall. Spencer Torrence will fall down to fourth for now. And those tires are probably raging hot. Right behind Aiden Hill for now around the final corner. Gotta be careful. It's hard to get a draft in these things. You got all that dirty air to deal with. It ends up with understeer with how over-engineered these cars are. Dirty air is still something you have to deal with, and even in something like a GT3, which is what you'd more expect on a track like this. Although this is a fun NASCAR track as well. I'll tell you that much. Hey, buddy, the pre-rolls are off, so, like, what are you doing? Oh, wait, pre-rolls are different. Okay. Oh! A little bit of a slide there from Torrence. If we get another caution, we'll run another one. Well, Micah Mixer, one of our newer drivers in the mix. Looks like it's his first race with the Prodigy Racing Association, at least for this season. I didn't see him on the leaderboard. If someone is able to correct me, please feel free. But yeah, when I checked, there was not a. Session time. How long have we been in? Anyway, I didn't see Micah Mixer on the leaderboard. If someone has different information than what I saw on Sim Racer Hub, then please let me know. Sim Racer Hub, also, thank you very much for your support of the Prodigy Racing Association alongside Grid Finder, which you now see in the bottom left of your screen. Those guys have been very pivotal in getting the name of the Prodigy Racing Association out there. And we've got plenty of drivers, and the skill has increased dramatically as Mixer is in the pits. Spencer Torrence now takes the lead. George Griffiths will move up to second place for now. As these drivers take an earlier pit stop, they want to put in as little fuel as they can so that they'll have enough to send it all the way to the end of the race. Remember, this is you have much less fuel than these cars would normally have. It's a 75% fuel capacity. And the reason it's distributed that way is it requires drivers to go to the pits. You have to go. You don't have a choice. Because you're going to run out of fuel before you reach the end of the race. Unless you do such an insane amount of fuel saving that you're not even racing at that point. Adam Miller seems to be the last driver that'll be in the pits for this stop. I believe Duncan, in theory, could run all the way to the end, but Duncan's a lap down right now, and with how close these lap times are, that is not going to matter. Aiden Hill right now holds the fastest lap time at the moment, and we'll get a quick look at what that is. A 1:27.779. Aiden Hill. We're in the midpoint of the race. 12 laps to go at the moment. So this is where things kind of quiet down a little bit. There is still going to be a battle here as Torrance will go into the pits. I don't think Torrance took that bonus point. Lost a point out of that. I think the guys don't exactly see the. I think that's something I have noticed is that the drivers sometimes, like when they have the chance for those bonus points, they don't want to push it to get that extra point. Maybe it's gonna mess them up down the road as Alex Jones will go into pit. Rodney Roberts in front of Aiden Hill at the moment. Aiden Hill, that was a sharp turn through turn one. And it works out beautifully. Robert ended up sweeping wide. Aiden Hill goes on the over-under and takes P5. Through the S's we go. George Griffith's now in the lead, but Micah Mixer with just 21 seconds behind. We have a black flag on the board for Alex Jones. Aaron, tell me, is that speeding in the pits for Alex Jones? We'll get word on that in a moment. Adam Miller heads. That's Adam Miller just out of the session. Oh yeah, the connection thing. So with the way that the grid has reformed after this point, it is Alex Jones going through the pits to. Is he serving a penalty right now, or has he got repairs? Not exactly sure, but Jones is still there. It looks like the black flag has gone away. So something tells me that was a stop and go. 45, speeding in the pits. Heard. Thank you. Griffiths into pit will put Mixer in the front of the field. Torrance in second. Kyle Deckard in third. Aiden Hill in fourth. Matthias Marcumini trying to grab that fifth place spot and unable to do so. What happened there? That gap ended up ballooning. I guess he let Griffiths by. So George Griffith's up to fifth at the moment. Trying to hold off the ads as much as I can. They're coming. They're trying. I think 14 minutes from now is when they would be expected to rumble. And these lap times have been 1:40 each. What is that times 10? Well, it's 100 seconds. So times 10 would be 1,000 seconds. We're doing quick maths here, folks. And I'm not exactly the best at quick maths. I'm a little rusty with it. Well, 10 minutes is 600 seconds. And we got 1,000 seconds to go by. Well, 400 seconds is another 7 minutes. So unfortunately, those ads are going to wallop us. Sucks. I think those ads I can't take out. What I can do is delay the pre-rolls, but pre-rolls aren't the one we have a problem with right now. Oh, well, whatever happens, happens. I know, Aaron, you're going to be fine with that because you've got the badge. You've got some lap traffic to go past. Brandon Farley. Brad Morath right now, holding on strong, 8th position at the moment. Well, kudos to him. Does have Jimmy Sallow behind him to worry about. You have that slow third to last corner as you make your way out of the boot and onto the rest of the track. Oh, love the sound of that engine. Doing this series has really given me a soft spot for this car. I'm not going to lie. I am more a sports car kind of guy. Of course, the main series that I was running before I decided that competing was not for me with GT3 is Jimmy Sallow. I believe was also part of that GT3 series on the inside of Marath, and Marath will let him go past the bus stop. A little bit of a hop and a skip, and Marath just slowed down really bad out of that one. Ended up collecting an incident for that, according to my overlay, but no worries. Anything else we've got? Well, George Griffiths is making progress, has Aiden Hill in front. The fastest lap now belongs to Spencer Torrance with a 1:27.702. Because Griffiths is now 3/10 behind Hill. I don't think Aiden Hill is exactly comfortable right now. And yeah, Griffiths has the speed in the Canada livery, and Hill's just going to let him by. Griffiths has too much speed to work with. Up to 4th goes George Griffiths, trying to catch up to Micah Mixer. Has 8 laps to do it. As Farley's into pit. You can see the difference in lines just from that little snippet. George Griffiths is hard on the inside heading through the bus stop in comparison to Aiden Hill. Hill will eat up a little bit of that curb. George is hopping it. And I believe by the regulations of the in iRacing, his is not an off track. George Griffiths is not getting an off track for that. He's doing it the way that iRacing allows. So we almost just started a fight, because I almost just called iRacing a game, which it both is and isn't, I guess is a fair way to put it. For now, we've got the gaps all sorted out. Micah Mixer in the lead at the moment. The first race we see him on this stream today. May have competed at some point earlier in the season, but I unfortunately did not get to see. I saw he was on the list on the roster, though. Oh, nice, good. Mixer putting down a 1:28.57. As, oh boy, guys, there's danger afoot. George Griffiths put down a 1:26.888. And he's rumbling hard. No penalty handed out in the server for the hit on Duncan. They deemed, actually, I don't exactly have an exact word of how they deemed it, because I'm not given that information. I can only just look on the screen and figure out the black flag that's on the board. If I see a black flag, then I'll ask them a black flag question. And then Aaron will be so kind as to tell me that. 10 minutes on the board. We are not going to make it. Rip. But we have definitely settled down a little bit, so now the focus is going to be on George Griffiths trying to cut through this field and make his way up to the top. How far behind is Duncan? Oh, 30 seconds. Well, for Duncan, the focus is going to have to be on the ovals, as this has been a very unfortunate race for her, as George Griffiths in a comfortable spot will take the lead in the championship should this result stand. We'll have to wait until next week to get the full word on that. We'll get another look at the incident that took place between Griffiths and Duncan, so you all get a good view of what happened. We're going to the roll bar once again. This is early in that race. Early in this race today. Focus with me as we come up towards the, down the chute and headed towards the toe. You'll see that Griffiths fakes towards the inside and then tries to duck back in behind Duncan. Duncan a little bit slower than Griffiths through the corner, clips her in the back and sends her spinning towards the back wall, even crunching that front wing down. I don't think ripped it off, but even damage to the front wing, minor as it may be, is enough to send that car into a tailspin. And then on the restart here with Brandon Farley on the inside, you can see him in the 327, loose out of turn 1. Tried to save it, but ended up spearing towards the inside. Duncan wanted that inside lane, but unfortunately the spinning Farley would deny her that opportunity. And with that much damage on the car, had to limp it to pit lane. And has been on the track since. Right now in 16th. Heading down the S's. But a brutal race is honestly an understatement for Marla Duncan. It's unfortunate, but sometimes these kind of races are going to happen. I'm sorry, Disturb. The fish doesn't work. I want it to work, but it doesn't. It doesn't. So Alex Jones has now been lapped. Mixer getting by it. I need to honestly just remove the command and the channel point redeem because honestly, I don't think we're getting the fish back. We're going to sit down. It's settled in. Mark Tumini trying to get in an interesting battle here with Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill in more of that neon green, whereas Mark Tumini more seafoam. A little bit of a turquoise, I suppose. Maybe some teal. It's a nice looking car, I'll tell you that one. I like it. And I like the matching wheel scheme as well. Fun fact, both the wheel and the tire, so you have the wheel, which is both the metal part inside the tire, and the wheel is also considered the entire structure. So the word rim is technically incorrect. However, most people that are going to hear about cars and you tell them about 20 different rims, they're going to understand what you mean, but the term is wheel. Mark Humini's got distance down now on Aiden Hill. That gap down to about half a second. Now out of turn 1. As George Griffiths up to third after getting past Kyle Deckard. Is closing the gap big time on Spencer Torrance. The last lap, a 1:28.01. Torrance, a 1:29.34 on the last one. Mark Humini has gotten by Aiden Hill for that P5 spot. It's funny watching how the story of a race can change in an instant. When we were looking at that lap 1 between Duncan and Griffiths, we were talking about the oh my God, Austin actually oh, he heard me. He wants to be on the board, man. That's hilarious. Austin LeBlanc is registered on the board, which means he's going to get points, and that means he's going to be featured on the board. And I think because of how many people are here today, he may actually not be in last. He may not be in last, which would be hilarious. We're going to keep the focus on Griffiths at the moment. As we go through the S's, we are 3 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Right now, Micah Mixer, 6 seconds ahead of Griffiths. But the focus for George is getting past Duncan's teammate Spencer, and is in a good position to do so here. Has been consistently faster each and every lap. Although a little bit squirrely out of that one. Down the chute, headed towards the toe. You got ads in 4 minutes. This race is not ending in 4 minutes, unfortunately. So Torrance will have Griffiths right behind him. Now out of the boot and around the heel they'll go. A little squirreliness, perhaps. And now we will read, a slide from both Torrance and Griffiths out of the third to last corner, but they do hold on. As Mixer down the straight, is that Duncan? Is that Marla Duncan in front of him? Why, yes it is. Torrence and Griffiths remain tied at the helm. A faster lap out of Griffiths. Down to 2/10 is the gap. Griffiths is looking for a move. He's looking, but he's not going to get it yet, and has to consider a somewhat slower Torrance out of the bus stop, and a little bit of grass is eaten up. Well, we've had a crash on the board. There's Alex Jones who is registered on the board. I believe he's okay. Oh, he's looking. He's eyeing it up. Wants that inside. Not there. Not there yet. Nope. Respects Torrance still being there on the outside. And also probably a little concerned that eyes are watching him. Not my eyes. My eyes don't matter. They don't mean a thing, really. Because the replay will be looked over in painstaking detail. This admin group, by the way, is really cool. I like these guys a lot. Aaron's cool. Even though he does give me crap a lot when I mess stuff up for the stream, mostly because it's funny. Sorrel GP, welcome in, and thank you for the follow for the Prodigy Racing Association. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoy as we are white flag racing at Watkins Glen. George Griffiths trying to get by Spencer Torrance to seal up second place. Sorrel, your eyes do in fact matter. Yes, they do. And we very much appreciate. Oh no! Hold on a minute. Something's ripped off. It's George Griffith's wing that is flipped in half. Gets into the back of Spencer Torrance, and now the arrow of the car a bit compromised as they go through the S's right on top of each other. Is there contact there? Possibly. Torrance is still in front though. One by one through the bus stop, and you see that aggressive line from Griffiths, and he's way inside as that car's not going to turn nearly as easily at speed because of the wing being chopped in half. And the black-white flag was out for a second, as it was considered a corner cut, as it's called, and has to slow down a lot. And now Kyle Deckard close behind. Possibly a chance to steal. George is hungry, but he bit off a bit too much. And now Deckard has a chance to get on the podium. That gap to Deckard, dropping to 4/10. Griffiths now in full defensive driving mode, but doesn't have much he can do. And it's Kyle Deckard to the outside now. They're on the third and final corner. They'll go by, but the focus is on Micah Mixer. Welcome to the Prodigy Racing Association, and welcome to Victory Lane. Micah Mixer, your winner at Watkins Glen. Around the final corner goes Griffiths. Kyle Deckard steals third place after the damage to Griffith's wing. Mark Humini takes fifth. Aiden Hill at the moment looks like ended up in some sort of incident and is in sixth at the moment. And right on time, ad break is going to kick off, and we'll get a word with our drivers when we return. Mixer is not going to go for a victory lap, and Mark Humini, goodbye. Hello, Aiden Hill. Pass the line. Joe Nert, Brad Morath, Jimmy Sallow, Rodney Roberts in 10th at the moment. Mike, I'll never forget what you did to Arthur Ripcoat. Sorrel, I don't have the context for that. You want to tell me what happened there? Austin, by the way, I saw that. That is hilarious. Thank you. That's funny. That was a good chuckle you gave me. All right, oh my goodness, Rodney. Ruined that car. So we've got Torrance up there. As that is it for our run. Kyle Deckard in third. I actually need to double check something. Oh, we've got some trouble here. Checkered flag waves, and that is it for today. Let's double check. I need to see who everyone is, because honestly, I keep forgetting that part. I'm sorry. So that's the race winner. Spencer Torrance is in. Who are we missing? I think it's Kyle Deckard. We gotta wait for him to hop in. We're looking for Kayak. Get in here, bud. That's unfortunate. We've had someone else who had internet issues, and it cost them big time. Once again. I don't... Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit because there is an ad break on the way. Red Dead Redemption 2 joke. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. No, it's all right, Sorrel. Look, you got your in-jokes. You're allowed to have them. Adam Miller is in the chat at the moment, so... Huh? Also, who is that? Looks like an incident between Kyle Deckard and someone else on the boards. It was Guillermo Perret. I don't know exactly what happened there. We can have a look. Oh, I know what he's talking about. This one. Deckard thought he was alongside and wiped him out. That's what he's referring to there. Looks like Kayak will not be joining us. Torrance and Mixer will be joining us. Big congratulations to every driver involved, so let's get everyone in here. Let me just double check this real quick. I want to get Torrance in. Oh, Aiden. Aiden's feisty. Understandable. I think for now we are going to call it for today. Don't need to really worry about too much. What was this supposed to be? Oh my goodness. That's old. I don't have that updated, so we're not going to worry about that. Thank you, Sorrel, for hopping in. Glad you showed up here for the end of the race. It was an exciting one. He is. All right, let's bring him in. Here with us at the moment, your P2 driver in Spencer Torrance. Torrance, congratulations on P2. I'm
Thank you.
Fairly certain I could take a guess as to how Duncan's doing. You can fill us in if you would like, but I have my guesses.
Yeah, she's not happy with the first incident, and then I didn't even get a chance to look at the second one yet, so I'm gonna do that after this. But
I can tell you
yeah,
this
she's
much.
not feeling too great.
Yeah. The second incident, by the way, is right on the restart after the first. So
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, overall good race. Strategy was a little off. I should have stayed primes instead of going alts, but I wanted to try something to get ahead of the guys I was battling. Ended up working out that way. George almost got me at the end, but the speed of the Premier machine that was brought for me by our team was pretty good, just like their setups. PremierRacingSetups.com. I'm just kidding. No, go check those guys out though. Overall, should have won. I won't say I should have won. Micah was just fast. Micah was the guy today. Overall, skill strategy, good. Tire strategy, bad. Driver, skill issue. P2's good. I'll take it.
All feel. I mean, hey, look, your skill issue is never going to ever top the kind of skill issue that I had. If you ever saw me at the GT3 event, no, you didn't, because I bowed out after the first race.
Hey, I'm just saying, lap 12, heel of the boot, massive save, kind of the greatest it's ever been.
Saw the save. That was good stuff.
Kind of the greatest it's ever been. Just gonna say.
I was clean. That was clean. That battle with George, it really was interesting. George probably did have your number, but ends up getting into the back of you. Did that affect the way that your car was driving for those final few laps?
No, I put on the reds and she burned right through them. I tried to save as best I could, but trying to get to Micah, I burned through them. And then so coming out of T1, second gear hit the button. As soon as I hit the button, started spinning. Just had to correct and shift to third. And by the time I got to third, he was in the back of me. So yeah,
gotcha.
Sucks, but that's just a skill issue. Once again, what do you know?
Skill issue on your part, that is correct?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right. I want to make sure we're not getting too feisty in here. We don't need
No. George is a great driver. Great driver.
We like George around. Unfortunate the way that his race went. But he nearly came back and won though. But congratulations for holding him off.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Give Micah his props. He's a great driver. He beat me fair and square.
We're going to bring him in right now as soon as I get confirmation that he's ready.
Yep.
I made sure to wait a little bit because I saw you had Rod in there. Didn't want to disrupt any conversation you guys are having. Rod's great people. I just saw on the replay someone got speared into the wall, rip, and we're gonna bring him in.
All right, go for it.
And welcoming in your race winner, this is Micah Mixer. Welcome to the Prodigy Racing Association, and congratulations on your victory here at Watkins Glen. How you feeling today, bud?
Pretty good. I didn't see much of what happened in the race after the first lap, but it felt like a good race.
It was a good race because you don't have to worry about what's going on behind you. You just have open field the entire time, and as long as you don't suffer from a massive skill issue like these two idiots over here, you're fine.
Hey.
Hey, I dragged myself down with you, okay? But just
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah.
But yeah, now you get a bit of a taste on what the front of the field is. Bad George was really coming up on you. Did he give you a scare a little bit with how fast he was rolling?
A little bit, yeah. I went into map 3 to save for a little bit, and he caught up on me pretty hard, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to go back to map 1 and go flat out.
Yeah, if there's any man in this series who will make you think twice about fuel saving, it is definitely George. That man rips through the track, but you know, it does help when he ends up in a lap 1 incident and you get by him, and at that point, you just got to stay consistent, and that exactly you did. How's the car feel on this kind of track for you?
It feels really good. I came over from the F1 game over to iRacing, so road racing is kind of my specialty somewhat.
Open wheel road racing specifically.
Yeah. I'm not good in sports cars.
I'm gonna call for we ban this guy from the league. Too fast. Get him out of here.
Look, man. Look, like sports cars aren't your thing. This game is not my thing. I told Spencer this when I went to the GT3 series. I hopped in because I was gonna be like, you know what, Audi deserves representation, and then I spun in turn 1 about 5 times. So
was it Daytona?
No, Daytona I had good feels with before because I'd driven it before, but clearly don't have the kind of skill that you've got here with the open wheel. Congratulations here on your first victory here at Watkins Glen. Are you excited for the oval, or is it terrifying you?
Oh, I'm excited for the oval. It's Iowa next week, right?
Yes, it is. We go to Iowa, then Laguna Seca. We'll have our Thanksgiving break, and then Michigan to wrap us up.
Iowa's.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on that. It'll be 60 laps over at Iowa on November 11th. George Griffiths, unfortunately not able to make the podium. Instead, we have Spencer Torrance, and we've got Micah Mixer. Kyle Deckard unable to make it for today. Congratulations to you two, and I hope to see you next week, and all of you next week. Iowa's headed up next to wrap up our final 3 races of the season. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Either of you two, do you either have anything to say before we go?
Hawkins, Sander, bud. That's all I can say.
Never touch the alts.
I agree with the sentiment. Also, Austin LeBlanc has shown up on the board. I think he actually registered points now.
Oh, no.
Fun fact. So
oh, no.
You're going to see him on the leaderboard, and he may not be last.
Oh, that's not good at all.
No, it's not.
All right, I got to get out of here. Y'all have fun.
Take care. You too. Enjoy.
Yeah.
We'll get you out of there. Perfect. And thank you all very much for joining us. One last time, we head to Iowa next week. 60 laps at Iowa, then Laguna Seca for 30, Michigan for 40 when we come back from the Thanksgiving break. This has been the Tuesday night IndyCar series from Vision Corsa, and I hope to see you all next week. It's another oval race next time around. See you then.